Jim Schwartz might be the only guy cool enough to pull off shades indoors. I mean, Jesus Christ, what a fucking boss. Mike Owens and Jeremy Burton are both here. Don't worry, I'm going to take the shades off right now. I'm not as cool as Jim. But let's bring the fellas on. Eagles training camp is underway. I'm so excited. Football season is right around the corner.
Yeah, oh man, it's here, and well, I guess I'm ready for football season because obviously I've been hitting the beach and the pool too much because my face is as red as a fat tomato, just like Andy Reid, except I'm not big and fat like Andy Reid. Somehow I managed to stay skinny. I'm drinking a Mountain Dew here, just down the double quarter pounder from McDonald's, had some fries. So I think I'm ready for the season. Eagles football is back. Everyone's pumped, man. Training camp is here, and the news is already swirling in around the league. So much going on. And, even with the Eagles, unfortunately, we're going to be talking about the Bradham situation later. But, first we're going to get into the fun stuff.
Yeah, I love the lead, Adrian. I mean, Jim Schwartz is a boss. I mean, he looks like a guy that's about to order a mob hit on somebody. Like he's just the man. He's the only guy to really bring excitement so far, as far as the coaches go in this training camp so far. Because Doug P stands up there and it's just he just sounds like half a Stu-Nod, as to quote Mikey Miss. He's just so boring, and I don't know. He doesn't even know how to. That there's 3 channels on his radio that he can talk to the quarterback. He wants to say offense, defense, not quarterback. I mean, these are red flags, and for a first-time head coach, I mean, it's a little worrisome. But I mean, Eagles football is right around the corner. August 11th, the first preseason game. We're gonna check him out this weekend and at the link and practice. I mean, I'm just excited.
Dude, I wrote about that today. Dougie. You know what he said about John Dorobash today? Gosh, great. Literally. All right, let's start with some cool stuff. Let's start with some training camp stuff. I'm going to pass the question around to you guys. Who is the player you're most looking forward to seeing during training camp and preseason not named Carson Wentz?
Yeah, this one is a tough one for me because there's a lot of guys not named Carson Wentz that I'm going to really be keeping an eye on. But I guess the one guy that I'm really going to be checking out because of the recent reports coming out of training camp about Jalen Mills and how much he is impressing. So I guess that's the guy that I would say I'm really going to keep an eye on because I'll be very excited if he can continue this pace up because if he can come in his first year and even be a solid backup and even maybe get some starts later in the season, that would be a great situation for the Eagles because their depth at the quarterback position is it's very questionable. They really don't have that great of talent at that position. So I would say that, Jalen Mills is a guy that I'm looking at because he's a guy that took a flyer on late, 7th round. He was supposed to be a higher round pick, but he had some issues in the past. So I'm going to go with Jalen Mills.
Yeah, that's a great pick. I mean, I'm besides Carson Wentz, I think he's the best rookie we picked, especially for the value. Getting him in the 7th round. I mean, I hope he makes a difference. Maybe come in and slot there and make a difference and help the corner depth. But I'm going to go with it's kind of includes 2 players, but the starting defensive end position. I think Brandon Graham and Vinny Curry. I'm really looking forward to see what they will do in a more prominent role, especially with Benny Logan and Fletcher Cox being a year more more experience, and they're just beasts in the middle there. They'll force the quarterback to shift left or right, and I think Vinny Curry and Brandon Graham could be up for some career years under Jim Schwartz's scheme. So I'm really looking forward to them 2 guys.
All right. Yeah, what I'm curious to see from Vinny Curry is the run defense because it's never been a strong suit of his. That's why his snaps get limited. Right? At least it's gotten limited in the past. They basically only played him on passing downs. So Got to get better at run defense. Hopefully, he's made strides forward. We're going to talk about Jalen Mills in a second. We'll talk about him. My guy is Wendell Smallwood because he's another guy that's got a lot of hype. It would have been Jalen Mills, but since Mike already brought him up, I'll talk about Wendell Smallwood because, well, we know that Ryan Matthews is injury prone. We already seen it. I mean, he's already getting the injury thing going. He got hurt last week with his ankle while working out. So hopefully the Eagles have something in Smallwood. There's been a lot of buzz around him. He's good out of the backfield and catch the ball. So the thing with Matthews is, if he can't stay on the field, it's going to have to be this running back by committee. And, Darius Sproles can't carry the ball more than 10 times a game. Kenyon Barnard's only had 18 career carries. And then you got rookies the rest of the way. So hopefully Smallwood is a guy that can kind of emerge. We'll see. So I'm going to keep an eye on him, definitely. All right. I was going to talk about risers and fallers, but you know what? We'll talk about Jalen Mills right now. So what is it that you guys are so excited about him? I mean, shit, man. He's lighting it up on the field, even more so than his hairdo. His hairdo is freaking awesome. He looks like a walking thing, but he looks like a Bud Light Lime, basically, right now.
Yeah, man. I mean, he was kind of the star for, fashion-wise, the first day of training camp there, showing up with his green hair. So, obviously, this guy is a bit flashy. The thing with Jalen Mills is I'm excited because he's a guy, he comes from the SEC. So, he's facing some tough competition there. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons to be excited. And, with the reports coming out in training camp with how well he's performing, and then you combine that with the fact that he did play in the SEC, that's why you kind of get excited and think that this might not be a fluke because the guy does have some talent. But really with this whole Jalen Mills thing, I'm not going to get excited really until the regular season. I want to see what he can do in the preseason, but we've been down this road before. We all remember the Curtis Marsh situation. Curtis Marsh was lighting it up, during training camp and had some good preseason games. But, regular season comes around, it's a complete disaster. So it's really a wait-and-see approach with Jalen Mills. But what I really like about him is he's athletic, and like I said, he comes from the SEC.
Yeah, I mean, Mills, like I said before, it's great value pick in the 7th round. He's been a ball hawk so far in practice. Doesn't mean much. He's covering undrafted rookies and he's throwing, and Chase Daniels throwing the ball. But he still can get up there and deflect the ball. He's been batting a lot of passes away. Like Mike said, great conference in college. He played against great college players. Just anxious to see what he can do when we put the pads on. Looking at his tape, he seems to be a good hitter, but can he have the moving his hips enough to cover NFL wide receivers? It's going to be totally different ball game once it comes to the regular season and how he's going to contribute. So I'm really looking forward to seeing him in the preseason, see if he can his college skills, and he definitely has a good skill set, can translate to the professional level.
Yeah, character concerns were the reason why he dropped to the 7th round, but he was definitely the one guy that we were excited about when the Eagles drafted him. And you guys bring up the point with him being in the SEC. Not only being in the SEC, but practicing every day, at least for a little bit, against Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham. They went to LSU when he was there. So he's facing top-notch competition every single practice. So, that's cool. But, again, got to get to the point. He hasn't had pads on yet. We haven't seen him play in a game yet. So temper the expectation. Just kind of take that wait-and-see approach. And I love this quote from Schwartz yesterday. So guys are getting some training camp hype, and here's what he said. Let's be honest. We haven't had pads on yet. Football is meant to be played with pads. You can have a guy in the right position and look good out here, but if he can't make that tackle, that scheme didn't mean anything. Now, the thing about Jalen Mills, and just kind of watching him, I've if you go on draftbreakdown.com, watch him a little bit, he's very good when the ball's in the air, but he's not exactly the most physical player. So that's where like that kind of comes into play. Is he going to be able to wrap up, make tackles, shit like that? So it's great that he's playing well in gym shorts and all that, but just temper the expectation. I talked to some people on Facebook. They think he can potentially start. That is ridiculous. That is ludicrous. He's not going to start right now. You got to wait and see. But hey, guess what? This could be a steal, and again, just wait and see. But just don't get ahead of yourselves. That's the point.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. Yeah, I think it's definitely ridiculous for people saying that he could go in and start right away. Cornerback, it's a very tough position to make that jump to the NFL. I mean, heck, we saw it last year with Eric Rowe, and we took him in the second round, and he started a game or two here and there, but and then down the stretch, obviously, you saw a lot of playing time because of the injury to Nolan Carroll. But, that first year for a cornerback is tough. So if Jalen Mills really impresses, then maybe we can see him starting late in the season. But I think ideally you can expect Jalen Mills to be a backup at this point until later in the season. And, we'll see how he does in the preseason.
Yeah, I mean, you hope he can contribute in the nickel or dime and get in there, and if there's an injury, I mean, kind of stuck with him, but, you learn on the fly. I mean, the best way to learn is to get thrown to the wolves. I mean, look what Eric Rowe did. He got torched, got thrown on an island against Calvin Johnson, got torched for 3 touchdowns, but you saw him get better a little bit as the year went on. I mean, he learned, he got physical, forced a couple fumbles. I mean, Eric Rowe made some strides, and hopefully he steps up this year as well. But Jalen Mills is good. I hope it translates to the NFL and he continues to progress. But it's a good depth piece, especially to get in the 7th round if there's an injury or something like that, because the really only experienced corners we have are Nolan Carroll, the guy for Leonis McKelvin, and Eric Rowe is 1 year under his belt. So we're really limited. I mean, Ron Brooks was like a special teamer / backup. Ja'Cory Shepherd didn't play at all last year. I mean, we're really in a pickle there at corner. So just the depth and the potential for him to get better. I mean, he's only a rookie, and he has potential. Definitely temper your expectations, but I like that he definitely did play against Landry and Beckham in LSU. I mean, that's 2 of the best receivers in the league. So it's definitely promising. Just gotta hope for the best, and hopefully he keeps taking strides.
Yeah, and LSU is known for producing cornerbacks galore. I mean, Patrick Peterson, for example. So that's probably the best school, to draft cornerbacks from. So it's promising. There's potential, but just chill. I mean, sure, they might have something here, and that'd be great. But hey, like Jim Schwartz said, there's a reason why he's the coolest man on earth. So there you go. Jim Schwartz is fucking awesome. All right, so now we're going to talk about some risers and some fallers. So some guys that we think can rise this year, some guys that might take a little bit of a step backwards. So we're each going to go pick a name or two, whatever you want to do, and let's get to it.
All right, yeah, so I think a guy that we're going to see rise this year, I'm going to go with Jason Kelce. I'm optimistic about Kelce because I really think that him having better guards this season is going to help him out tremendously. Really, the addition of Brooks was really big for Kelce. So I'm expecting Kelce to make a leap forward this year. And I mean, really, that's not saying too much considering how he played last season. But what I'm looking for from Kelce is to kind of get back to that form from a few years ago, when he was really one of the, dominant centers in this league. So for a guy on the rise, I'm going to go with Kelce. And then for a guy that I could see, decline a little bit here, for that one, I'm going to have to go with, I'm going to say Nolan Carroll. I think Nolan Carroll kind of exceeded his expectations a little bit last year, but I think that it's going to be tough for him to come off this broken fibula injury. That's a tough injury to come back, especially for a quarterback since he uses his legs so much. So I'm going to say that Nolan Carroll will take a little bit of a decline.
All right, I have a riser that's new to the team and a riser that's in his second year. The returning player, if he stays healthy, the quarterback of that front seven, Jordan Hicks, is going to just, exceed all expectations. I think he's going to be an absolute stud in the middle linebacker. The best middle linebacker we've had since Jeremiah Trotter in there. I think he's got all the potential in the world. The only question mark is whether he can stay healthy. So if he stays healthy, I think he really takes a step up and continues his dominance. And then a new guy to the team, I like Ruben Randall to be, great hands, good route runner. I think he's going to be a consistent piece on the outside, complement Jordan Matthews on the inside, and you just got to worry about finding the other starter on the other side, which brings me to my faller. I think Nelson Aguilar is not going to meet that first round hype from, in a horrible rookie year. He had one touchdown and maybe made 2 plays all year, including that touchdown. I just don't. I hope I'm wrong, but I just don't see him meeting that first round pick expectation. So, we'll see what happens. We might have more production from someone like Chris Givens on the outside. I don't know, but I think Randall and Matthews are going to be our top 2 receivers.
I agree with that. I do think those are going to be our top 2 guys. My one riser, and this is where Howie Roseman fucked up, because this guy should have gotten an extension before Lane Johnson, before Vinny Curry. But, all right, I'll throw him out there. Benny Logan, to play alongside Fletcher Cox, to get in Jim Schwartz's scheme. He was playing as a read and react nose tackle. That wasn't even his strength. That wasn't even what he was good at. He's good at getting after the quarterback and attacking, and he's going to be a fucking monster this year. I'm telling you guys. And unfortunately what's going to happen, he's going to have a huge year, and he's probably going to walk, because guess what? We're not going to have the money to pay him. So thanks a lot, Howie. Fuck you. So they should have re-signed, dude. They should have re-signed him or extended him. That was the one, guy I really wanted to extend, but that's okay. Howie fucks up. That's what he does. A faller, I don't really have a faller per se. It's kind of hard to name one because we were so disappointing last year. Like who is really of a faller? But I'll throw a name. Sam Bradford. Sam Bradford is fucked. He doesn't have the mental fortitude to be able to handle all this pressure. The fact that he was complaining during the offseason about wanting to be traded and all this stuff, it shows that he doesn't have it mentally. Because Drew Brees, when the Chargers drafted Phillip Rivers back with 2004, whatever it was, Drew Brees was in the same type of situation. He was a stopgap quarterback for San Diego, and instead of complaining, instead of bitching, instead of asking to be traded, he went out and he killed it for San Diego, and he made it a really, really tough decision for the Chargers. Do we keep Brees or do we let him go? They let him go. He went to New Orleans. He won a Super Bowl. That's what Sam Bradford should have done. Instead, he's complaining, he's bitching, he's whining, and I think he's going to be not very good this year. I don't think the Eagles are going to be very good this year, and I think we'll see Carson Wentz at some point because Bradford is going to suck. So there we go. So that'll be my guy for that. All right, let's see. What are we talking about next? Are we talking Bradham? I guess we're talking Bradham. All right, Nigel Bradham. Getting in a fight over an umbrella. How about that?
Yeah, well, this was probably one of the worst things that could happen to us because it's the position that we lack the most depth at. So, here comes Nigel Bradham. We sign him here in the offseason, give him a 2-year deal, and he comes in here, hasn't even played one snap with the Eagles yet, and he's already causing trouble. The guy is fighting over a damn umbrella. He's punching, a worker that's working at a Miami hotel. I mean, it's just a horrible situation. Not one that the Eagles want to be in right now, because if Bradham does face any kind of suspension from the league, the Eagles are in a real tough situation. And I'm really not quite sure what they're going to do, because I don't know who they would have start at his position. They don't really have many options at this point. So, yeah, it's a tough one for the Eagles right now.
Yeah, I mean, the guy was really slow getting on his cabana umbrella. I mean, he got upset, and there was an altercation, and apparently the worker swung at an NFL player, Bradham, and missed and hit his girlfriend. So what's Bradham do? He knocks him out cold, breaks his nose, and busts his lip and retaliates. You just you're a starting player in the NFL. There's got to be discipline. You shouldn't put yourself in this situation. If your service sucks, just put up with it and wait. Like, don't cause drama. Now you're going to be facing at least a fine. You're going to get sued from this guy who works at the hotel, and you could be facing a suspension in a position that we're really lack the depth. So, I mean, you feel confident with a rookie from like Joe Walker stepping up or Najee Good in that spot? Like, no. And so, yeah, it's just a situation he shouldn't have got himself in. Hopefully he doesn't get suspended. Hopefully he can just pay this guy off or whatever, pay a citation or fine. It's not like a felony or anything. It's probably just a misdemeanor assault charge. But, I mean, we don't know. He's coordinating with the authorities, Peterson said, and he'll be in practice tomorrow. So, that's a good sign. I guess we're just waiting to hear from the league and what they're going to do about it. But we can't afford that hit at that position.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to comment too much on the matter. I'm going to take the high road like I did with Nelson Aguilar, just kind of let the process play out. But, we hear that there's different reports, took a swing, hit his girl, like Jeremy was saying, and then he knocked him the fuck out. I mean, if someone took a swing at my girl, I mean, I guess I would do the same thing. But hey, you're an NFL player. I mean, Jeremy made the point. Like, you got to be smarter than this. You got to know, like, we live in this society where especially with Twitter, you're proven you're guilty until proven innocent, basically. So he's guilty right now, according to everybody. I mean, that's just what people like to do and how they like to react. I do have some quotes from this guy that got hit, Courtois. He made some comments to Elliott Shore Parks at NJ.com. He says, "I am the victim. No, I didn't hit anybody." So he talks about now, what happened. So I set up 6 chairs. Next, I had to set up the umbrella. To set up the umbrella, I had to use a drill. My manager was my witness. I told my manager to go get the drill. I needed it to fix the umbrella. When I went to go fix it, Nigel hit me. If he has an issue with an employee, he should call the manager. So that was his quote in NJ.com today. So, basically what I'll comment is this. We talked about this before. The starting linebackers, Nigel Bradham, Michael Kendricks, Jordan Hicks, they've never gone through an entire 16-game season without getting hurt. So, and there's no depth behind them. So that was our major, like a huge concern of ours. Even we talked about this last week on our training camp preview. And for him to put himself in this position, whether he gets suspended or not, whatever, but we can't lose a starter because we don't have any depth. And that's a huge reason why they got to sign Stephen Tulloch. Like, shit, man.
Yeah, they better sign somebody because, I mean, after this incident, they need some depth there. But, yeah, I mean, the most frustrating part about this whole situation is it's over a damn umbrella. I mean, come on. And we're really going to do this over an umbrella? Just ridiculous anymore what these NFL players do and how they get in trouble and all the different things that they do. Just an idiot move by Bradham. Obviously, it seems like the worker at the hotel was going to get the drill because he needed to drill the screws back into Bradham's head because they were obviously a bit loose.
That was a good one.
That was a good one.
Yeah, I mean, like I said the same. I said the same thing. It's just so dumb. These multi-millionaires do something so idiotic that you know you're the starter on this team. You're going into a familiar system. You're gonna want to have bounce back your career. He had a good year like I think a couple years ago, but didn't do anything last year. He dealt with injuries or whatever, and yeah, you just don't do this at this point while training camp is just starting. It's just worst timing. It's a complete idiotic move. You would think someone with all that money and knowing his situation would be a little smarter and have a little more common sense. But, you see this all the time in the NFL. Just dumb people.
Yeah, yeah. That's it. That's all we'll talk about, Bradham. We don't need to say anything further. Another thing that was stirring up Philadelphia yesterday, John Clayton came on 97.5 The Fanatic, and he said the Eagles would be a team that would potentially be interested in Josh Gordon if Cleveland were to trade him. So I'll pose the question. The thing that Clayton said was all it would take would potentially be a low-round pick because Cleveland, well, the thing with Josh Gordon, obviously you can't trust him to stay out there because he's always suspended. So would you guys trade a low-round pick for Josh Gordon if he was available?
Yeah, well, if we get Josh Gordon here in Philadelphia, Gordon, Bradham, and Aguilar, they can all go to the strip club together. And, then we'll see Aguilar, he'll disappear into the back room, and he'll get into trouble. Then they'll run out of the strip club, and they'll make a V over to the pool, and then, they'll set up their umbrella, and then they'll probably start smoking some weed together. And then Gordon will get busted again. So, yeah, it seems like a good fit here for Josh Gordon. But, no, in all seriousness, I would probably, try to make a trade. Why not at this point? You know what you're getting with Gordon. He's already going to be suspended for the first 4 games of this season. He's going to smoke weed. He'll probably get in trouble again, but the guy did lead the league in receiving in 2013, and obviously hasn't played much since because of all his suspensions. But the guy, an unbelievable talent. There's no question about it. So obviously, if it doesn't take a lot, why not add a guy like that when obviously the Eagles are lacking some depth at the wide receiver position?
Oh my God! Give me Josh Gordon. If he doesn't get suspended for the whole year by failing another drug test, it's only 4 games, and it holds to that. Give me Josh Gordon. In his age 22 season, he averaged 117 yards per game, and that is second in the Super Bowl era, next to Calvin Johnson, who averaged like 122 in 2012. Yards per game. Just such an impact. And this is with Jason Campbell, Brandon Weeden, and Brian Hoyer throwing him the ball. Yeah, Sam Bradford isn't a big step up from those guys either, but, you're going to see.
Wentz is.
Oh, Wentz is. And you can see just the potential. Gordon, he'll take a safety with him every time over the top. It'll open up things in the slot like Ertz and Matthews and Sproles. He would just be an unbelievable impact. If you can get away with it for a 4th or 5th rounder, sign me up. Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't know about the validity of what Clayton was saying because, for me, it's like for Cleveland to hang on for him him this long and to not trade him, that to me would be a little bit strange to suddenly get rid of him. But I'll tell you what, if all of it takes is like a 5th or 6th round pick, are you kidding me? This is low risk, high reward. This is the epitome of that. And if you kept your pick, Howie Roseman would fuck it up anyway. So you got, to get Josh Gordon, that type of talent with Carson Wentz, we need a number 1 wide receiver. This is a guy that can be a top 10 wideout in the league. It's a no-brainer. It's like, not everyone agreed, with this. When I posted it on Facebook groups for Philly Influencer, a lot of people were negative about it. I don't understand why. It's not like it's going to take a 1st round pick for him. It's like a 5th. So I don't know why people wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah, and then there's people that probably ask, well, why the hell would the Browns be willing to trade him? And if I remember correctly, I think the Browns ended up taking like 5 wide receivers in like this year's draft class. I know that they got Corey Coleman from Baylor, right, in the first round.
First round. Yeah, he was first wideout taken.
Yeah, so I think they ended up with like 5 wide receivers in the draft. So obviously they loaded up at that position. Another reason why they might get rid of him is because they're fed up with all his weed smoking. So that would be another reason. So yeah, hell, like I said, Eagles are very thin at the wide receiver position. They really need the number one guy, and if it takes them like a fourth or fifth round pick to get a guy who has shown that he can play at a high level in this league, and he's still very young, I think you just got to, really take the risk there and go after it, because really this whole offseason, I mean, even if you look at these Eagles wide receivers that they got in the offseason, if you look at Reuben Randall, Chris Givens, and the deals that they gave them, they were both low risk, high reward guys. So it just makes sense that they went after Gordon too.
Yeah, getting him on the cheap. He's only 25 years old, and I mean, he has the potential to be. I mean, if he in 14 games in 2013, he put up over 1,600 yards in only 14 games. So I mean, he would only have 12 games if he played all 12, and he put up easily over 1,000 yards in those 12 games. I mean, yeah, the low risk, high reward gamble is totally worth it for like a fourth or fifth round pick. I mean, I'd be all in on it. I just, you see, the Browns might not have total confidence in them since they drafted so many receivers, but it might not happen. But it's fun to speculate.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's just all speculation. But that's the other point too. He's only 25. Like shit, man. He's still a young guy. Now, I made the point. Why would the Browns kind of keep him around? I just thought about this. In the last couple minutes. That maybe teams were waiting until he got reinstated, because he just got reinstated like Monday by Roger Goodell. So and Hugh Jackson, I mean, he came in here, got rid of Johnny Manziel, gave him the boot right away. So maybe he wants to get rid of Josh Gordon too. Who knows? But Chip Kelly isn't around anymore because culture, and Josh Gordon, culture. So yeah. All right. To kind of close up, we'll just talk real quick about Jon Dorenbos. Dude, that motherfucker has talent.
Oh man, it's getting to the point where I think that Jon Dorenbos should be running for president, because I would be voting for him. I already, cast my votes online for Jon Dorenbos in this competition. The guy is just dominating. I mean, his latest performance, just mind-boggling. I don't know how he does it. The guy is just insane. The fact that he was able to predict before the show what all the judges were going to draw on their cards, just a hell of a talent that guy has. One of the best long snappers in the league, and also one of the best magicians in the whole country.
Oh, he definitely deserves to win America's Got Talent. He's the man. He's multi-talented. One of the best long snappers in the league. You know how important that position is? These are some critical 3 points and one pointers for these extra points and field goals. I mean, it's critical. You got to be in sync with your long snapper and your kicker. But I mean, I was blown away. I'm like, how could you possibly? It was sealed in a bottle. I mean, that was an impressive trick. I watched it today. I love Jon Dorenbos. He just seems like a great guy. Total Philly guy too. I mean, he's just so lovable, and yeah, he's definitely multi-talented. I'm all about him. As Peterson said, gosh, I love it. He's great.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said today. I love it. Gosh, it was great. Yeah. So the funny thing is we'll see how him advancing in the competition is actually going to how it plays out with the practices and such. But he's been doing this for years, so I don't really think it's that big of a deal. If he wants to skip out on a couple practices, I don't give a fuck. He's the man, and he knows how to snap a football. So that's that. I guess we'll get to final thoughts time right now. Anything before you guys want to head out?
Yeah, my final thoughts is I'm just fed up with these NFL players all around the league just being complete morons. I mean, it's been a matter of a few days here, and we've had so many things.
Not like they know I'm Adrian Fedke.
Yeah, it's not like they know you're Adrian Fedke. Good old Aldon Smith. First off, you have Aldon Smith. There's a video came out where he recorded himself, smoking a blunt, and And on the video, he said it. It's not like they're going to know that I'm Aldon Smith because his name on Periscope wasn't Aldon Smith. It was something else. So that's just an idiotic move by him for a guy who's had so many issues in the past. And then you look at the Cowboys. This one, obviously, we're all thrilled about with Randy Gregory being a complete moron again. Apparently, he's in a treatment center now. And apparently he's going to be even suspended even more games for failing another test. So that's good news for the Eagles, but there just another idiot move by him. Then you have Le'Veon Bell, with the Steelers. Guy gets suspended last year for smoking weed. So this year he decides that he's going to smoke more weed, and he's just going to decide to skip a test. So, smart move by him. But another good thing for the Eagles because the Eagles play the Steelers in week 3. So if he's suspended 4 games, the Eagles don't have to face him. So then you have the Bradham situation obviously, and then we had the Aguilar thing earlier this offseason. So, my advice is to these NFL players, get your head on your shoulders. I mean, it's really not that hard to stay out of trouble.
Yeah, you bring up some great points. It is ridiculous. And these are all multi-millionaires. Don't have to worry about anything money-wise for the rest of their lives, but they continue to jeopardize their career with just stupid shit. I mean, I just don't understand it. But with the Cowboys, I mean, that's great. They're actually receiving an additional fine because of the multitude of suspensions. I think I have 3 defensive players now that are suspended. They're receiving an extra $250,000 fine right out of Jerry Jones's pocket. So I love that. But basically, a final thought is, the pads are coming on just tomorrow and Saturday, actually, I think the real pads are getting on. But, I'll be there Sunday. I'm going to meet up with fellow Bitter Bird Mike, and we'll see him. We'll see him practice down there. I'm so pumped just to see some hitting, see some Eagles football going on.
Well, the advice is simple: lay off the weed. Just do it. That's all you got to do. But speaking of weed, on Monday they got the Democratic National Convention in Philadelphia, as many of you know, and they rolled up a 51-foot joint. Did you guys know that?
Really?
Yeah, they did. Aldon Smith was the first one in line. So, yeah.
Decriminalized in Philadelphia.
Yeah, all the Bernie Sanders supporters, they rolled up this huge joint, 51-foot joint, obviously a fake joint. That would be actually pretty incredible if someone.
Oh my God! How many pounds you fit in a 51-foot joint?
Yeah, we should probably get off the show now before we get drug tested. But yeah, I thought that was really funny. And so yeah, Democratic National Convention. It's in Philadelphia right now. They had the Hilly Fanatic on last night on the Colbert Report in honor of the Philly Fanatic and in honor of Hillary Clinton, the first Democratic nominee going for president. She's a woman, so first woman potential president. But yeah, fuck Donald Trump, fuck Hillary Clinton. I hate both of them. I think they're both idiots. But
I could puke.
Yeah. So yeah, whatever. This isn't a political show. But for Mike Owens, Jeremy Burton, I'm Adrian Fedke. Lay off the weed. Don't smoke it. We're out.
What?
Yeah.